Well, hello there, and welcome to my channel. I have been wanting to start a YouTube channel for probably 10 years now. I actually did do a little bit of makeup back in the day, and I then started my first big girl job, and that just did not work out. So here I am again today, and this is just a little introductory video of what this channel is going to be about and what you can expect. We're gonna just jump in headfirst into the deep end. My name is Alicia. I am a former esthetician that is still licensed, turned now household operations manager, as I like to call it. But if we're not talking in corporate lingo, I am a stay-at-home wife. I also have chronic illness, which is partially the reason that I work from home now, stay at home, whatever you want to call it. I'm always working. I can't stop working. This platform will be all things Alicia at home, because I'm home a lot and we might do some little adventures here and there outside of the home because why not? That'll be fun. From my love for home decor, my regular day to day with chronic illness, I am very fortunate to not be an extremely bad case of chronic illness, but we're just going to jump right in and tell you kind of my background story with chronic illness and why I stay at home now. I have had headaches and vertigo since I was a child. I don't necessarily remember when the headaches started, but I do know that even in third grade, my parents would send me to school. This was the first year that I actually went to school and was not homeschooled, and they sent me to school with Tylenol to my teacher. They gave my teacher Tylenol. So if I was complaining about headaches, that she could give me a Tylenol. I did actually start wearing glasses in third grade year, so that's probably, contributed to the headaches back then. But I can remember having headaches since I was very, very little. And then when I was 11 years old, that is when I remember going to a specialist and seeing an ENT about having vertigo. And it has been just a lifelong battle of having vertigo every now and then. And I think there's many different causes for it. Yes, there's the crystals in my ear that sometimes get dislodged, which cause the BPPV, benign proximal positional vertigo, I think is the actual term. And the ableist maneuver is something that I do that helps with that, and I've been doing that since I was 11. However, I still have a lot of vertigo symptoms, especially in the winter time. Weather can definitely affect it, and it can just be challenging. So as you can kind of assume and imagine, it can be very hard to hold a full-time job when you have to call out semi on a regular basis because the world is spinning and you can't get out of bed. So I worked as an esthetician for 8 years in the field, and I absolutely loved it. It was honestly a passion of mine. I would still say it is a passion of mine. I love to help people feel relaxed and calm and just bring people some peace in the stressful days of their lives, because life is super stressful as an adult. And I would like to say I was pretty good at it as well. I also specialized in acne and rosacea and skin, like problem skin, but it was very hard on my body. For the first 5 years, 5.5, 6 years, I believe, I worked at a place that did airbrush tanning, we did eyelash extensions, we did everything, honestly. And we did facials, hydrofacials, makeup. I did braiding. I had my braiding license, and it was literally just a catch-all, and I had the best time. However, doing eyelash extensions were really hard on my neck and body because of my headaches, and honestly, it was a very fast-paced job, which is not great for having chronic health symptoms. So we're going to fast forward to 2023, which is when I found a specialist in my area that was a concierge medicine doctor who actually took the time to listen to me, listen to my symptoms. I had been going to specialists since I was 15. Honestly, I think even younger, trying to find answers. I remember doing all kinds of tests. There was even this one test where they stuck needles that had cameras at the end of them to look at my muscle tissue to see how my muscles were functioning. It was absolutely horrible. Do not recommend. And then we did neurological testing, all of that stuff, and everything was kind of coming back normal or just like on the brink of, normal. So nothing extremely abnormal. So at 15, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I personally was like, okay, sure, this is what it is, but I did not take that as my actual answer to what was going on. So I did keep looking for a long time, saw many different, I wouldn't even say specialists, but different primary cares, and a lot of people didn't listen. They would just run lab work and be like, everything's normal, everything's normal. And finally, this doctor, he took an hour in his office and we went through all of my lists of symptoms. And I was like, I've had doctors tell me it's in my head. I've had them say it's psychological and that it's anxiety. And he's like, no, I actually do believe it's in your head, like your brain, not just psychological. So he finally ordered an MRI of my brain, and we found that I have Chiari malformation type 1 or Arnold Chiari malformation type 1. And that is a condition where your brain herniates into your spinal column. It's just like essentially the skull can be like a little too small to contain your brain. So my brain is too big for my head. So that's great. I should be really, really smart, but I don't think I am. And as you can imagine, that causes all kinds of symptoms. Thankfully, mine is not severe. I do not require surgery. This surgery in the US is pretty barbaric, and I don't necessarily want to put myself through that. So I just manage my symptoms on my own because I don't really like taking medications. And yeah, it's fun. It's very fun. But having found that out, I had been seeing chiropractors, standard chiropractors, for a very long time. And once I got that diagnosis, it's like, oh, I really shouldn't have people be twisting or popping my neck in that manner because it could probably like kill me. So I started to pursue other avenues and I found out about Atlas orthogonal, which is a very precise, very gentle adjustment of the first bone in the spinal column. And I saw this chiropractor and I saw I saw one chiropractor first and the guy was really creepy. He liked to like play with my hair and like say really creepy things. I think I saw him for a total of 5 visits and I was like, I just can't, absolutely not, cannot see this guy. And I was fortunate enough to find my current chiropractor who is super sweet and very, very knowledgeable. He was a former massage therapist and just absolutely knows so much about the body. And he does these precise alignments of my neck. And that was about 2 to 3 years ago, I believe. Yeah, yeah, 2 to 3 years ago. And I started to see improvements with my headaches. Like I literally lived every single day of my life with a headache at the base of my skull, and it just felt like there was like a clamp that was blocking blood flow, blocking everything from functioning properly the way that it was supposed to. So I saw this chiropractor, and that pressure finally started to relieve, which along with that started to relieve not just the headaches, but vertigo as well. I am not vertigo free, but it is made a huge improvement with those symptoms. My headaches, really, I don't really get them very often anymore. I'm at the point with my journey that my the headache symptoms are basically manageable. And when I do get those headaches, I'm like, oh, my atlas is out. I need to go see my doctor or my chiropractor. And honestly, it's just been life changing. So I will say, since I started that journey, with seeing chiropractic, that side of my chronic illness has drastically improved. Obviously, the Chiari malformation is still there. It's not really something that's ever going to go away. And I still have other neurological symptoms that go along hand in hand with it, like chronic fatigue. And I really have to pace myself. And when I'm doing weightlifting, I have to make sure I'm not overly extending myself or being overly zealous when it comes to pushing weight because adding extreme pressure can increase pressure on the brainstem and cause more symptoms. And there's a whole list of symptoms, which honestly I could either link or show y'all a list of symptoms that are included with Chiari malformation that honestly explained so much of my life because I have gut issues, I have pain, I have fatigue. Honestly, the list goes on and on and on. So it's very enlightening to have an answer. And it took me I don't know, 12, 15 years to get a diagnosis that I was actually like, yeah, no, this makes sense as to why I suffer all of the time. And I recently just started having allergy issues. Back in December, I was dealing with just like a little bit of itchiness on my lip, which then turned into an impetigo infection, which is essentially either a staph or it's either a strep or another type of bacterial infection. I can't remember what it is. And it was horrible. My whole mouth crusted over and it was painful and itchy and just awful. So I must have picked up something probably at the gym, touched my, hand, rubbed my mouth, transferred some bacteria. I got that cleared up, but then the itching and the welts, and I just kept having a bunch of symptoms that kept popping up for 6 months. And I was like, this has to be like a food allergy or a contact allergy or makeup or something. And navigating allergies has been something new to me. I have tried elimination diets in the past for like gluten and dairy, and I found out I have an egg intolerance, not allergy, thank the Lord, but I definitely have an intolerance to eggs. So that one, it's different than having like a contact allergy where it's like, oh no, you're having an actual allergic reaction, not just little tummy issues and discomfort that, doesn't change your life drastically. So I found out I'm allergic to a host of ingredients, basically anything in shampoo or hair products. I finally found a good shampoo that is not dog shampoo because apparently dog shampoos are safer than human shampoos. But there has been like this huge list of ingredients that I now have to cross out of my life to kind of control and manage those allergy symptoms. And I'll do a whole separate video, I think, on that. It was such a detailed, strange experience to have because I really wasn't finding a lot of resources anywhere else. My dermatologist wasn't helpful. So that'll be a separate video of its own. But adding in allergies on top of these neurological symptoms, as you can imagine, just living with just different symptoms can make life very hard, and working full time makes it even more challenging. So my husband and we were engaged. We were like, hey, eventually down the road when it's possible, we want you to be a stay-at-home wife. Whether it's stay-at-home mom, whether it's stay-at-home wife, my life will just be more full and fulfilled by being at home. So I quit my job 2 years ago, and it has been a journey. I did not realize how much of my identity I put into my work. And as an American, we always say, like, what do you do? Or you always want to know from right off the bat, what do you do for work? And instead of just saying this is my title, we say I am. So like I am an esthetician. And so that's so much of my identity was wrapped into what I did for work that once I quit my job, I was like, oh my gosh, who am I? What do I enjoy? What do I like to do with my life? I honestly was kind of taken aback by it because I just for years I was like, I need to quit. I can't wait to quit. I can't wait to quit. I can't wait to quit because I was so tired and in so much pain, so exhausted. And then when I did it, I was like, what the heck? I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know anything about myself. So honestly, the stay-at-home journey has been very enlightening. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about the way that I like to function on my day-to-day. And honestly, I'm not the best when it comes to structured routine. Today, like on the fly, I was just like, my sister asked me to go shopping with her. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do that. But I'm gonna record a little YouTube video real quick. And my structure is really all over the place. But I want to just bring you guys along this journey of stay-at-home lifehood as a wife. I'm very honored. I'm very blessed that I am able to do this, especially in this economy. Obviously, I want to start some YouTube. It'd be great to monetize one day. But I also just need a little hobby, and I also want to make connections with other people who might be having a similar journey where you have chronic illness. You're not extremely disabled, but it's enough to just interfere with your day-to-day life that you don't necessarily want to just keep going in the corporate world because it's not made for able or disabled people. We'll just be honest. Like, there's all of the OSHA stuff, but they don't care. They don't listen to that. This is what I want to bring you on. And if you're experiencing something similar, I want to get to know each other. This is a safe space All people are welcome. I want to hear your stories. I want to connect. I want to engage. And I just want to know you. And I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. It might be new, it might be intimidating, but there's hope for you. And if you're still in the work field trying to get out, like I am so sorry because that's not easy. And I just hope that we can kind of get through this journey together and get to know each other better as life goes on. So, all that to say, thanks for being here, and I can't wait to see what is ahead of us. Bye.